we said. Okay, I'll record the session and I'll be uploading this onto YouTube. So if you want, you can check it out there. But again, the reason that I wanted you to come on the webinar itself, and we never say we give the recording because a lot of people then don't come for the webinar itself. But this is honestly where you can clarify any questions face to face with me, clear any doubts. And basically, I like it to be an interactive session, you know. So I will be recording this and putting it on the group, on YouTube, so you can check it out from there. All right. So today we are mainly going to focus on the reading section. All right. And predominantly we'll focus on a paper discussion. Okay. So from what I understood from your conversations on the group, most of you are either doing the test in January, or you have already done a lot of research and you have done a couple of papers, you know what the reading test is about, and you know which questions you're finding difficult as well, right? Nonetheless, I'm assuming now there's close to 220 and counting. I'm assuming that there are some of you who have no idea about the reading test, the structure and all of that as well. So I'll give you a basic introduction first, and then we will go into a paper discussion. All right. So that is the plan for today. Okay. In the meantime, before we start, can you also let me know in the chat box any specific questions you would like me to address? Now, some of the questions that I saw was true, false, and not given. A lot of people had said you're struggling with that, right? Some others had mentioned matching headings, right? So like that, if there are any particular questions, let me know on the chat box. Yeah, matching headings. Okay. Okay, so I'll respond to those as well. Multiple choice questions. Okay. All right. So we'll focus on those specific types of questions as well. But now we will start with an introduction. A lot of people had also requested information about our 10-day program, right? And they had wanted speaking partners. So either way, if you're looking for a speaking partner or you're looking to get into the 10-day program, we'll update all that information on the group after the session. I'll also let you know about that verbally at the end of this webinar, right? I don't want to get into it right now. And the other thing is, on the group, make sure there isn't a lot of unnecessary conversation going on, because we got a few complaints from people saying it's a bit distracting. All right. So whatever questions you have, post it. I'll answer it. Tag me and post it. I'll answer those questions. There will be a point today at 9:30 or 9:15 where we will completely mute the group and put the information about our 10-day program, but then we'll unmute it again maybe tomorrow or day after, once we have got inquiries and people have seen our message. All right. So don't worry, you all will get the opportunity to talk amongst yourself. But today at about 9:15, we'll be muting just to put the information about our program. Okay. Now we'll get started with the reading section. All right. So the reading section, as you know, is the second part of the test, right? So the first is what? Ayoma, can you tell me what the first test of the IELTS exam is? Is it writing? Is it speaking? What is it?
Listening.
It's listening, right? So you're going to start off with the listening test. All right. We'll just recap on a couple of things. How long is the listening test? Harshika, do you know?
30 minutes.
Yes, the listening test is 30 minutes. All right. Once the listening test is done, directly you will have to do the reading test. How long is the reading test? Does anyone know? Hamudi?
1 hour. 1 hour.
Right. Good. 1 hour. So this is the second exam in the sequence. You have 1 hour and you have 40 questions to complete within this hour. All right. This is the same for both general and academic test takers. There is no difference in the time. There is no difference in the number of questions. Okay. There is also no difference in the number of sections that you're going to get. Clear? whether you're doing general or whether you're doing academic, you only have 3 sections in the reading test. But the number of paragraphs you can get can depend. Anjali, do you have an idea how many paragraphs you'll get if you're doing the general test? Which test are you doing, general or academic?
It's academic.
You're doing the
Academic,
academic, okay. How many
As
paragraphs?
in
Hmm.
3 paragraphs?
3 paragraphs in the
3
academic.
sections.
Correct. What about the general test?
Actually, I don't have any idea about general test. Actually, I gone through the academic paper.
Only the academic.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyone that's doing the general test, do you have an idea? Who is doing the general
3
test?
paragraphs.
Okay. That's
3
a
paragraphs.
that's a misconception. In the general test, you have 3 sections, yes, but you have more than 3 paragraphs. All right. You might have 4 paragraphs or you might have 5 paragraphs. In very, very, very rare cases, you might have 6 paragraphs, but it's very rare. You rarely get 6 paragraphs. All right. But definitely up to 5 paragraphs you can get. Clear? How are these 5 paragraphs structured? In the first section, you might get 2 paragraphs. All right. In the second section, you might get 2 paragraphs. And generally, in the third section, you have only 1 paragraph. The third section of the general test is very similar to the academic section. All right. It's very similar to an academic paragraph. In the academic test, you have 3 paragraphs back to back. There are no breaks. All right. As in, now, when you're doing the general test, you have the first paragraph. They give you about 7 questions. Then you have a second paragraph, and then you have the remaining questions. With the academic test, there are no such breaks. You directly have a single paragraph, 2 pages long, and you have to answer 13 to 14 questions from each paragraph. Clear? That is how the two are structured. When you're answering the questions, okay, regardless of the question type, whether it's a completion type question, whether it's a matching type question, any of these questions, a few things you have to pay attention to. Number one, you have to pay attention to your grammar. Now, when you're doing the listening test or when you're doing the writing test, even if your grammar is not 100% great, you can still go for a high band score. Clear? I've had a lot of students, they were struggling with their grammar. All right. Their grammar wasn't perfect, but their writing and their speaking sections, they have gotten through. When it comes to reading, your grammar has to be on point. Okay. At least 85 to 90% of your grammar has to be good. What is the reason for that? Most of the answers, especially when it comes to completion type questions, you can predict answers using grammar. Sometimes you would write an answer on the answer sheet and you will realize, wait, this answer is grammatically incorrect. Okay. If your answer is grammatically incorrect, that means your answer is incorrect. Do you understand what I mean? Because the answers that you have to write always have to be grammatically correct. If at any point it's grammatically wrong, that means your entire answer is wrong. Make sense? Then spellings. Even a single letter that is not included, or if it has been additionally included, then it's wrong. For example, if the correct answer to a question is dog, right? Let's say the correct answer to a question is D-O-G, dog, and you have put dogs, that is incorrect. Do you understand what I mean? If you have put dogs, that is incorrect. So even a single letter here and there, your entire answer will be marked as incorrect. All right. No half marks are given. Directly, you are given 40 questions. All right. Directly, you are given 40 questions. There are no half marks. You have to get full, you have to write the exact correct answer in order to get the full mark. All right. Another thing that you have to pay attention to is the word count. Now, I will elaborate this further when we get to the paper and I show you the paper. But the word count means in the question itself, they might tell you, write less than 2 words, right? Or write less than 2 words and a number. All right. Yes, Shalika will be giving the recording, right? Write less than 2 words and a number. Write only 3 words and or a number, right? They will give you different instructions like that. Now you have to pay attention to the word count. Don't worry, I'm not going to elaborate on it here. I will elaborate on it when we get to the paper. Okay, but just keep in mind, this word count is very important. Final one is time. This is where a lot of you struggle. Am I right? Can I just see a show of hands if you struggle with managing your time for the reading paper? Can raise your virtual hand? Yeah. So a lot of you, yes, a lot of you struggle when it comes to your timing, right? A lot of you struggle when it comes to your timing. Okay. So we are going to focus on how to manage your time as well. Which questions should you attempt first? Which questions should you leave for last? What are some of the techniques that you should follow to reduce the time that you're using to find answers? Okay, this type of thing is what we are going to discuss today. All right. Now, what I'm going to tell you in this slide, it does not apply to people who are doing the exam in January. Okay. If you're doing the exam in January,
Hello.
yes,
Hello.
yes,
Sorry for the disturbance, sir. I'm a
uh-huh.
newcomer. So if you don't mind, could you please explain as well Sinhala because we can understand.
Okay, sure, sure,
Sometimes
sure.
it's going.
Okay, sure, no problem. Let me explain in Sinhala as well. All right. Okay. So what I said here was, okay, let me just quickly recap, okay, in Sinhala. මේක තමයි IELTS test එකේ දෙවනියට එන test එක, right? Listening and then reading. ජෙනරල් ගත්තත් ඇකඩමික් ගත්තත් ස්ට්‍රක්චර් එක එකමයි. පැයක් තියෙනවා, ප්‍රශ්න 40ක් තියෙනවා, sections 3ක් තියෙනවා. ජෙනරල් ඇකඩමික් එකේ එකම වෙනස ඇකඩමික් ටෙස්ට් එකේ sections 3ට paragraphs 3යි තියෙන්නේ. පිටු දෙකක paragraphs 3ක් එනවා. ජෙනරල් ටෙස්ට් එක ගත්තම paragraphs 5ක් වැඩිම 6ක් එන්න පුළුවන්. 6ක් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් එන්නේ නැහැ. නමුත් 5ක් දක්වා එන්න ඉඩ තියෙනවා. right? ඊළඟට අපි topics වශයෙන් ගත්තම general topics. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි day to day activities ගැන topics තමයි general test එකට එන්නේ. right? academic ගත්තම ගොඩක් science වලට බාර ගොඩක් academic focus topics තමයි එන්නේ. right? අපි මෙතනදී attention එක ගොඩක් දෙන්න ඕනේ grammar section එකට. right? ඒ කියන්නේ grammar වලට ලොකු attention එකක් දෙන්න ඕනේ. මොකද writing සහ speaking test එක ගත්තම අපේ grammar එහෙම මෙහෙන් අපිට වැරදුනත් අපිට ඒක හදාගෙන අපිට ටෙක්නික්ස් තියෙනවා grammar වැරදුනත් overcome කරලා හොඳ band score එකකට යන්න. reading වලදී ඔයාගේ grammar හොඳ නැහැ කියන්නේ ඔයාගේ ලකුණු ගොඩක් අඩු වෙන්න තියෙන chance එක වැඩි. ඒකට හේතුව තමයි ඔයාගේ answer එක grammatically incorrect නම් ඔයාගේ answer එක එහෙම් පිටිම වැරදි. ඊට පස්සේ දැන් ඔයා සාමාන්‍යයෙන් reading test එකක් කරලා ඔයා paragraph එක කියවලා උත්තරයක් හොයාගත්තම ඔයා බලනවා right දැන් මේ උත්තරේ grammatically වැරදිනේ. right මේ උත්තරේ grammatically වැරදි. දැන් ඔයා හිතනවා මේක තමයි හරි උත්තරේ. නමුත් මේ උත්තරේ blank එකට දැම්මම grammatically එක වැරදි. එතකොට ඒක ඔයාට click වෙන්නේ නැහැ ඔයාගේ grammar හොඳ නැත්තම්. right එතකොට grammar කියන side එක මේ reading test එකට ගොඩක් වැදගත්. right grammar කියන side එක මේ reading test එකට ගොඩක් වැදගත්. ඒක නිසා ඔයගොල්ලන්ට සාමාන්‍ය මාස එක මාස දෙකක කාලයක් තියෙනවා නම් grammar වලටත් grammar ඉගෙන ගන්නත් පොඩි effort එකක් දාන්නම ඕනේ. ඊළඟ එක තමයි spellings. ඔයගොල්ලෝ අකුරු spell කරන විදිය, වචන spell කරන විදිය. right උදාහරණයක් වශයෙන් ඕගොල්ලොන්ගේ answer එක dog නම් හිස්තැනට එන්න ඕන උත්තරේ dog D-O-G dog. ඔගොල්ලෝ එක අකුරක් හරි වෙනස් කරොත් DOGS dogs කියලා දැම්මොත් ඒක හැම පිටිම වැරදි. right you can't make mistakes in your spellings. ඊට පස්සේ word count එකත් බොහොම වැදගත් word count එක මම paper එකට ගියාම explain කරන්න. Right? I'll explain the word count when it comes to the paper. ඊළඟට timing තමයි ගොඩක් අයට අමාරු. timing කියලා කියන්නේ කාලය කළමනාකරණය කරගන්නේ කොහොමද කියන එක තමයි ගොඩක් අයට අමාරු. Right? ඒකත් අපි කොහොමද කරන්න කියලා when we are doing the paper we'll discuss that. All right? Okay. දැන් මෙතන අපි discuss කරන්නේ අනේක සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ඕගොල්ලන්ට මාස 2ක් 3ක් තියෙනවා නම් IELTS test එක කරන්න මේ මම දැන් කියන්නේ අනේවා කරන්න. ජනවාරි වල ඔයගොල්ලෝ කරන්න ඉන්නවා නම් මේවා කරන්න හදන්න එපා. Directly paper practices විතරක් කරන්න. All right? So if you have some time, like if you have about 2 months, 3 months for the paper, take some time and do what I'm telling you to do, because in order to face the reading paper properly, you have to be able to read fast and comprehend that information. Do you understand? It's not enough to just do some techniques and try to find answers. Okay? Because with techniques, yes, finding answers will be easier, but it will be 10 times more easier if you can actually read fast and understand what you're reading. Do you understand what I mean? So if you have about 2 or 3 months for the paper, then take some time and practice what I'm telling you now. Right? Okay. What are some things that you can do to improve your reading skills? Number 1, start reading books and newspapers. Now, if you're doing the academic test, newspapers are a great source of information. Right? Well, academic test එක කරනවා newspapers කියවන එක ගොඩක් වැදගත්. Right? The next thing is try to read scientific journals, news sites like BBC, CNN, different news magazines, books related to general information, right? General information as in scientific information, right? You get information on, let's say, for example, the history of a specific animal, the history of a specific country, right? You get, let's say, for example, what scientists have discovered about the Arctic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, right? These kinds of things, if you can find books, newspapers, online articles, start reading at least 2 to 3 months out, right? පුළුවන් තරම් news articles, පොත්, magazines, මේ වගේ දේවල් ටිකක් කාලයක් තිස්සේ ඉඳලා කියවන්න පටන් ගන්න. නිකන් කියවලා තේරුමක් නැහැ. right? දැන් මේ slide එක දිහා දැන් මම ටික වෙලාවක් මේක දාන් ඉඳලා තියෙනවා. නමුත් කී දෙනෙක්ටද පුළුවන් මේකේ තියෙන ටික දැන් මතකෙන් කියන්න. right? දැන් මම silent හිටියත් විනාඩි 5ක් මම කියනවා right මේ තියෙන points 6 ඔයගොල්ලෝ memorize කරගන්න. කොහෙවත් ලියන්න එපා මුකුත් කරන්න බෑ memorize කරගන්න. ගොඩක් අයට අමාරුයි. right? සමහර අයට පුළුවන් but ගොඩක් අයට අමාරු වෙනවා. හේතුව තමයි අපි දැන් මෙහෙම එකපාරට ලොකු information ටිකක් දැක්කම අපේ ඔළුවටත් හිතා ගන්න බෑ අපි මොකද්ද ඔළුවට දාගන්නේ මොකද්ද ඔළුවට දාගන්නේ නැත්තේ කියලා. Do you understand what I mean? So that same problem you will have when it comes to the reading test. පිටු දෙකක paragraph එකක් දුන්නම ඕගොල්ලෝගේ මොලේට හිතා ගන්න බෑ මම කොහෙද කියවන්නේ දැන් කියලා. Do you understand what I mean? Your brain can't comprehend where you're going to read. So when you're starting your practices, one thing that you should do is take a small block of information, a small paragraph. Read it, understand it, summarize it. Do you understand what I mean? Both general and academic test takers can do this. Read the paragraph, summarize the paragraph in your own words. What will this do for you? This will help you understand what you have read. ඔයා කියවපු දේ තේරුම් ගන්න මේකෙන් ඔයාට පුළුවන් වෙනවා. right? මොකද්ද? ඔයා කියවලා ඒ කියවපු දේ summarize කරන එක. Do you understand what I mean? මේක ටික ටික වැඩි කරන්න. දැන් මුලදී ඔයා lines 8ක paragraph එකක් summarize කරනවා. ඊළඟ පාර 16ක. ඊට පස්සේ 64ක. ඊට පස්සේ 150ක. right? ඒ විදිහට ටිකක් explicitly වැඩි කරගෙන ඔයා summarize කරන්න පුරුදු වෙන්න. Easily within about 2 to 3 weeks you will be able to read an entire page, and without even having to write, without even having to look at anything, you can easily comprehend that information, understand that information. right? We call this focused reading, right? It's a basic term, focused reading. Focused reading is all about paying attention to what we are reading and understanding what we have read. Okay. A lot of people, a lot of teachers will say, just with these keyword techniques, skimming, scanning, and all of that, it's easy to find answers. Yes, it is easy. But if you don't understand, if you can't comprehend, it's very difficult, to be honest, to find the answers. Because some students, they will say, okay, I located the keywords, I located the formal, or I located the fixed and flexible keywords, but I can't understand what I'm reading. That's a big problem, right? So they don't know whether it's true or false or not given. They can't understand, right? Therefore, start reading and summarizing. Clear? The only way to improve your reading skills is by doing that. The next thing you do is called pacing. Okay? Api pace කරනවා කියලා කියවද්දී. Make a focused reading වලට very important, right? Does anyone know what pacing is? Pacing කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා ඔගොල්ලෝ දන්නවද? අයෝමා, do you know what is pacing?
No, sir.
Sorry?
No, sir.
No, not sure. Okay, Isuru, you have raised your hand. Do you know what pacing is? Isuru, do you know what pacing is? No? Okay. So pacing means basically අපි දැන් ඔගොල්ලෝ පොඩි කාලේ right ඔගොල්ලෝ පොතක් ගත්තම මේ විදියට ඇඟිල්ල තියන් කියවුව මතකද? right අපි මේ විදියට දැන් හිතන්නකො මේ කර්සර් එක ඇඟිල්ල කියලා මෙහෙම ඔගොල්ලෝ තියාගෙන කියවුවා ඔගොල්ලන්ට මතකද? ඒකට තමයි pacing කියලා කියන්නේ. මේ pacing කරන එකේ වැදගත්කම තමයි, the importance of doing pacing is that it improves your focus onto where you are reading, right? දැන් ඔගොල්ලෝ උදාහරණයක් වශයෙන් පල්ලියේ හරි කොහේ හරි ඔගොල්ලෝ නැගිටලා ක්ලවුඩ් එකක් ඉස්සරහා මොකක් හරි දෙයක් කියවලා තියෙනවනේ. ඔගොල්ලෝ මෙහෙම පොත දිහා බලන් කියවලා එකපාරට ඇස් දෙක උඩ ගත්තොත් ඔගොල්ලන්ට අමතක වෙනවා කොහෙද ඔගොල්ලෝ හිටියේ කියලා. right? ඒකට අපි මොකද්ද කරන්නේ? අපි ඇඟිල්ල තියාගෙන කියවනවා. ඒ ටෙක්නික් එකම අපි මෙතනදී පාවිච්චි කරනවා. right? Specifically අපි focused reading කියන කොටස develop කරගන්න අපි pacing follow කරන්න ඕනේ. අපි මෙහෙම ඇඟිල්ල තියාගෙන ඒක follow කරගෙන කියවුවොත් අපි ඒ මොහොතේ කියවන්නේ ඇඟිල්ල තියෙන තැන විතරයි. right? මෙතනදිත් greatly, in a great way, our focus will improve. And as we keep doing this again and again, right, you will be able to understand what you're reading. Understanding is so important. That is why I am focusing on this so much. right? ඔගොල්ලෝ හිතනවා තියා මේක එච්චර වැදගත් නැහැ කියලා. නමුත් this is very important. මාස දෙකක් තුනක් තියෙනවා නම් අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම මේක කරන්න. right? ජනුවරි වල කරනවා නම් දැන් පරක්කු වැඩි. මේක කරන්න දැන් පරක්කු වැඩි. නමුත් ඔගොල්ලෝ papers practice කරද්දී මේ technique එක follow කරන්න. right? When you're practicing papers, follow this technique, pacing. All right, very important. Okay. The next thing is all your answers you can write in capital letters, right? Whether you're doing the online test, a computer-based test, or whether you're doing the written test, you can write all your answers in capital letters. All right? මෙහෙම කරන්න එපා. Answers කිහිපයක් simple ලියලා answers කිහිපයක් capital ලියන්න එපා. right? එතකොට ඒගොල්ලන්ට හිතනවට වැරදිදායි. right? එහෙම කරන්න නෑ. නමුත් මං කියන්නේ එහෙම කරන්න එපා. right? Don't write some answers in simple, some answers in capital. If you are writing something in capital, write everything in capital. Do you understand what I mean? Otherwise, follow the normal writing pattern. All right? So read and summarize. I already said this is very important. Then bring a pencil to write your answers. Again, I think most of you know this, but I'm just reiterating it. Write all your answers in pencil. All right? And then
Sir, sorry for disturbing.
Yeah.
Sorry for disturbing, sir.
there's a doubt for me.
Yeah.
When we are writing the answers, the first letter should capital and others are in simple. Is it okay?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. So that is the normal writing pattern, right? And I'll put it into the chat box, right? So for example, if your answer is dog, D-O-G, dog, this is correct, right? But keep this also in mind. Now, if it is in the middle of a sentence එකක් මැද නම් වාගේ උත්තරේ තියෙන්නේ. Dog වගේ දෙයක් capital letters වලින් ලියන්න බෑ. Right? එතකොට simple. ඔයාලට තේරෙනවද? දැන් sentence එකක් මැද උත්තරයක් එනවා නම් අපි මෙන්න මේ විදියටයි උත්තරේ දාන්න ඕනේ. sentence එකක් පටන් ගද්දී එනවා නම් first letter capital. Right? අපි proper nouns වලට විතරයි capital letter එකක් දාන්නේ sentence එකක් මැද. දැන් උදාහරණයක් වශයෙන් නමක් තියෙනවා නම් if there is a name. Yes, Siobhan, yeah, that's correct. Names are proper nouns. Names are proper nouns. Names of a person, names of a place, names of basically any name, right, falls under the category of proper nouns. So for example, if the name Tom is there in the middle of a sentence and that is your answer, you can say capital T-O-M, right? If the name of a country, let's say Canada, is there, then capital C, right? Canada. But you know, unless you're really proficient with English, sometimes this can be confusing. Or English වල හොඳ නම් මේක ලේසි, but ඒ කියන්නේ හිතන්න නැතුවම අපේ වෙනවා automatically. But ඔගොල්ලෝ English එක struggle කරනවා නම් සමහර විට මේක අමාරු වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Right? ඒක නිසා මේක මෙතනදී ඔක්කොම answers capital ලියන්න. ඔක්කොම answers ටික capital letters වලින් ලියන එක ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ලේසි. නැත්නම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ හිතනවා මේක simple ද capital ද simple ද. ඒකටම තව වෙලාවක් යනවා. Right? ඒක කරනවට වඩා ලේසි ඔක්කොම capitals වලින් ලියන එක. It's very easy to write everything in capital letters. Right? Someone has asked, can we use all caps for the writing test as well? Yes, you can, but it's difficult for you. Right? That is difficult for you. The writing test එකේ ඔක්කොම capital ලියනවා කියන එක ලියන පුද්ගලයාට ගොඩක් අමාරුයි, වෙලාව ගොඩක් යන වැඩක්. Right? ඒක නිසා writing test එකට all capitals ලියන්න එපා. Right? Listening and reading tests දෙකටම all capitals ලිව්වට කිසිම ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. පවණි අහලා තියෙන question එකක්. It's not mandatory to write the answers from a pen. We can submit. Yeah, that's what I said here. Write the answers using a pencil. Pencilak. සමහර centers වල guys pen ඇතුළට ගෙනියන්නත් බෑ. Right? Certain centers තියෙනවා pen ඇතුළට ගෙනියන්නත් බෑ. ඔයා pencil එම විතරයි ලියන්න ඕනේ. Right? pencil එම විතරයි ලියන්න ඕනේ. ඒක නිසා pencil අරන් යන්න. pencil දෙක තුනක් test එකට අරන් යන්න. ඔක්කොම simple letters වලින් ලියන්නත් බෑ. සුමුදු? Right? ඔක්කොම simple letters වලින් ලියන්න බෑ. ඔයා අනිවාර්යෙන් capital එක්ක ලියනවා නම් ඔක්කොම capital, නැත්නම් ඔයා normal sentence structures follow කරන්න ඕනේ. Okay, දැන් අපි මෙතනින් move වෙමු. Right. So just a few things to keep in mind. Try to read something every day, guys. You have your phone on you all the time, right? Like we all have our phone 24/7. Right? Can any of you raise your hand if you don't have a smartphone? I don't think so. Right? There's 283 people here. 2 people are raising their hand. Oh no. Okay, so Samantha and Bhumit, okay, fine. You guys don't have. But aside from that, almost everyone else has a smartphone. Right? Guys, if you don't have a smartphone, at least keep a book, keep a magazine, keep a newspaper at hand. If you're at work, obviously you guys have a laptop or a desktop or something. You have access to the internet, right? If you have access to the internet, put something on your laptop, on your desktop, on your phone and start reading every day. බස් එකේ යන ගමන් සින්දු අහන්න එපා, මොනවා හරි කියවන්න. Right? Listening test එකට සමහර අය කියනවා සින්දු අහන්න අරව කරන මේව කරන. ඒව අහන්න එපා. ඔයා listening test එකට නම් TED Talks and podcasts ඔය දෙක විතරයි touch කරන්නේ. Right? ඒ අරෙන්න මුකුත් අහන්න යන්න එපා. Reading test එකට definitely you have to read something every day, right? Read something every day. Put the BBC app onto your phone, put a CNN app onto your phone, and just start reading it every day. All right. I've given a few websites or apps that you can download: BBC, The Economist, New Scientist, AFP News, CNN News. All of these are great. Doesn't matter if you're doing general or academic, right? For general, the topics are different, yes, but still, what you're trying to develop are your reading skills. ඔගොල්ලෝ develop කරගන්න හදන්නේ ඕගොල්ලෝගේ reading skills. ඒක නිසා හිතන්න එපා දැන් New Scientist කියන magazine එක academic කරනවා විතරයි. එහෙම එකක් නෑ. General academic දෙගොල්ලොටම පුළුවන් මේක කියවලා ඕගොල්ලෝගේ reading skills develop කරගන්න. Practice කරද්දී මේකත් guys ඕගොල්ලන්ට මාස 2ක් 3ක් තියෙනවා නම් කරන්න හොඳම විදියක්. දැන් අපි ලකුණු 40ක් ගත්තම, right? අපි ලකුණු 40ක් ගත්තම අපිට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් band 6 and above යන ලකුණු කීයක් ගන්න ඕනේද? අයෝම දන්නවද? හර්ෂිකා දන්නවද? මට කවුරු හරි කියන්න. band 6 and above යන්න අපි ලකුණු කීයක් ගන්න ඕනේද?
More than 25?
25.
More than 25, right? At least 25 answers we have to get correct, right? Hari. 25 ගන්න නම් දැන් භාගයට වඩා චුට්ටක් වැඩි, right? භාගය කියන්නේ 20නේ. භාගයට වඩා චුට්ටක් වැඩි. හරි. අපි කොහොමද 25කට යන්නේ? ඔගොල්ලෝ practically හිතලා බැලුවොත් first 10 questions වල ඕගොල්ලෝගේ ප්‍රශ්න 5ක් විතර වැරදුනොත් ඉවරයි. මොකද first එක තමයි ලේසිම එක. First paragraph is the easiest paragraph. එතන ප්‍රශ්න 5කට විතර උත්තර වැරදුනා කියන්නේ it's very difficult to catch up later on, right? එතකොට අපි බලන්න ඕනේ පළවෙනි ප්‍රශ්න 13 හෝ 14ට full marks ගන්න. Do you understand what I mean? The first 13 to 14 questions are crucial. We have to get full marks for that. The paragraphs do not get easier, right? The paragraphs do not get easier. They get harder. The questions do not get easier. The questions keep getting harder. Matching information type questions, matching heading type questions, those types of questions are difficult. They come usually in part 2 or part 3. But part 1, generally, it's true, false, not given, sentence completion. It's questions like that. Easy to get marks. Very easy to get marks, right? So you have to try and get 14 out of 14 or 13 out of 13. Now imagine if you get 13 out of 13 there, a pressure is lot less when you come to part 2. Do you understand what I mean? Again, if you can get at least 11 for part 2, sorted. Right? 11, 10, 11, if you are in that range, if you're getting 3, 4 questions wrong, perfect. Right? Part 3 is the most difficult paragraph. Yes, part 3 is the most difficult paragraph. In that part, if you can get at least 10, 9, 10, you're through. Right? You're 6.5, 7 and above. Right? So you start with slow practices. What do I mean by slow practices? First, only do part 1, right? Do about 10, 15 part 1 questions, right? That means you take, if you take book number 18, there are 4 papers. Do all 4, only part 1. Take book number 17, do only part 1, all 4 papers, only part 1. Take book number 16, all 4 papers, only part 1. Part 1 විතරක් මේ හැම paper එකේම කරන්න. ඔයාට papers 4කවත් අඩුම තරමේ 4කවත් 13න් 13 හරි 14න් 14 හරි එනකන් ඒක විතරක් practice කරන්න. Do you understand what I mean? තේරෙනවද මම කියන දේ? එතකොට ඔයාටම confidence එකක් එනවා. මම දැන් part 1 එකක් කරද්දි මට අනිවාර්යෙන් 13න් 13 නැතත් මට 12ක් හරි එනවා දැන්. Right? මට අඩුම තරමේ 12ක් එනවා. A confidence is very important. That confidence is very important. ඒක ඉවරුණාට පස්සේ ඔයා කරනවා first and second දෙක එකට. ඔය වගේ papers 12ක් 13ක් අරගෙන first and second විතරයි. ප්‍රශ්න 26ක් විතර එකට කරනවා. එතනින් ඔයා බලන දැන් 26න් ඔයගොල්ලෝ බලන 23ක්වත් හරියන්නේ. papers 4ක 5ක එක දිගට ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ 23ට වඩා උඩින් ලකුණු වෙද්දි ඔගොල්ලෝ safe. එතනම ඔගොල්ලෝ band 6 එකක් අරගෙන ඉවරයි. right? ඉතින් අඩු band scores, ඒ කියන්නේ band score 4, 5 ඒ වගේ band scores ගන්න හදන කට්ටිය ඊට වඩා කරන්න දෙයක්වත් නැහැ. අය third එකට ගියාම it's easy. No need to even stress. right? ඊට වඩා උඩ band scores වලට යන්න හදන කට්ටිය 6.5, 7, 7.5, 8 ඔය range එකට යන්න හදන කට්ටිය third එකත් ලොකුවට focus කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒකත් මුලින්ම timing ගැන හිතන්න එපා. මෙතනදිත් මාස දෙකක් තුනක් තියෙනවා නම් වැඩියම timing ගැන හිතන්න එපා. ඔයාට ඕනම් පැය එකහමාරක් පැය 1:40ක් අරගෙන කියන්නේ ඕන තරම් වෙලාව අරගෙන පේපර් එක ඉවර කරන්න. පළවෙනි පාර හිතන්නකෝ ඔයාට 1:40ක් යනවා. දෙවෙනි පාර කරද්දි මේක 1:35කට ගේන්න බලන්න. 1:30කට 1:25කට ඕගොල්ලෝ ටෙක්නික්ස් යූස් කරලා ඕගොල්ලෝගේ රීඩින් ස්කිල්ස් ඩෙවලොප් කරගන්නවත් එක්ක ඕගොල්ලෝගේ ටයිම් එක ක්‍රමක්‍රමයෙන් අඩු කරගන්න පුළුවන්. right? ඒක නිසා කල් තියෙනවා නම් මාස දෙකක් තුනක් තියෙනවා නම් වැඩියම ටයිමින් ගැන එහෙම වරි වෙන්න එපා. ඉස්සෙල්ලා ස්ලෝ ප්‍රැක්ටිසස් කරගෙන එන්න. අන්තිම සති 3 සති 4 එද්දි තමයි ඕගොල්ලෝ බැහැලා ටයිම් කරලා හරි ටෙක්නික්ස් වලට උත්තර හොයන්න ගන්න ඕනේ. right? okay, so we'll follow that, then do time practices towards the end, right? and practice consistently and tirelessly. දැන් මගේ ක්ලාස් උත් වෙනවා සමහර ළමයි guys. දැන් ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ නම් සර් මම හිර වෙලා ඉන්නේ සර්, සල්ලි වියදම් කරන්න බෑ, බොහොම අමාරුවෙන් කරන්නේ, මම බැහැලා කරනවා වැඩ කරනවා කියලා. මම කියනවා හරි, මේ සතියේ papers 7ක් කරලා මට results කියන්න. 7 වෙනි දවස් වෙනකනුත් සද්දයක් නැහැ. එහෙම practice කරලා ලකුණු ගන්න අමාරුයි genuinely. අපි test එක කරා කියන්නේ English හොඳටම පුළුවන් කෙනෙක් test එක කරත් we have to practice at least 2 weeks. right? We have to practice at least 7, 8, 9, 10 papers. Do you understand what I mean? So if you're struggling with English,
Sir,
yeah,
there are some hard words. I mean, I have already booked. There's Cambridge book. There are hard words too. So it's very difficult to find out what is the correct answer. Somehow,
we'll get to that. Okay,
I-
don't worry. We are doing a paper discussion now, right? Another 10-15 minutes. We're going into a paper discussion. There we'll discuss what to do when you find these difficult words. Okay?
Okay, so thank you.
All
Thanks
right.
a lot.
No problem. All right. So like I was saying, now, if you're struggling with English, guys, right? Now, I teach students again who are very good at English. Still, we do about 15-20 papers before they go for the test. If you're struggling, at least before you go for the test, 30-40 papers you have to finish. Right? In your mind now, you must be thinking, anybody can get band 6 or 7 if we do 30 papers. Yes, anybody can get. Right? It's just that some people work hard, some people don't work hard. That's the only difference. It doesn't matter who your teacher is. It doesn't matter whether you come to my class. It doesn't matter if you go to the best results producing teacher in Sri Lanka. Only the students who work hard will pass. Do you understand what I mean? So the harder you work, the more papers you do, the more time you invest, the better result you can get. Right? Okay. Now we are going into, okay, this is the same thing, right? I've just summarized some of the information here. The main thing that you have to keep in mind again is that each paragraph, doesn't matter whether it's academic or general, each section has about 800 words. වචන 800ක් විතර තියෙනවා each section එකේ. දැන් general ගත්තත් paragraph දෙකකට කඩලා තියෙන්නේ. නමුත් වචන 800ක් විතර තියෙනවා. right? ඒ කියන්නේ ඕගොල්ලෝ වචන 2400ක්, right? සමහරවිට 2500ක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්, සමහරවිට 2300ක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. නමුත් average එකක් වශයෙන් ගත්තම, when you take it as an average, at least 2400 words you have to read, understand, and then find answers to questions. Right? To do that, guys, you have to do what I told you. You have to start practicing from a bit of a, you have to give yourself some time and start reading, summarizing, and then you have to pace, right, to improve your focused reading. You improve your retention skills. You improve your comprehension skills. All right. And then when you start papers, you do slow practices. Take enough time, right? And practice one section at a time. Target to get 13 questions correct in part 1. Target to get 13 questions correct in part 2. Already you're in a band 6. Then you're just focusing on part 3. Even if you get 8 to 9 questions correct, you have already got 7.5. Right? That should be your target. That should be your target. All right. Okay, so this is an answer sheet for people who are doing the written test. For online test, it's different. All right, so the reading passage will be on one side, questions will be on the other side. But if you're doing the written test, this is what it looks like. Keep in mind, if you're doing the written test, you're given the question paper and the answer sheet separately. In the listening test, you're given an extra 10 minutes to transfer your answers. No time is given in the reading test. Right? Only 1 hour to write your answers here. Paper එකේ උත්තර ලියලා ඒක දෙන්න එපා උත්තර දෙයි කියලා කියන ලකුණු දෙයි කියලා බලාගෙන ලකුණු දෙන්නේ නැහැ. මෙතන උත්තර නැත්තම් 0. Do you understand what I mean? So write your answers here. All right, from the get go itself write your answers here. I transfer කර කර ඉන්න යන්න එපා. ඔයාලට අන්තිම විනාඩිය වෙනකන් උත්තර ලියන්න පුළුවන්. Right? ඒක නිසා පළවෙනි උත්තර ඉඳලා මෙතනම ලියන්න ගන්න. Right? Okay. All right. So
So can we get the paper after the exam?
No, you have to submit
Can we
everything.
get the paper?
No.
Hello.
You have to
Hello.
submit
Oh,
everything.
okay.
Yeah? Okay.
Hello.
Okay.
Yes. Hello.
Okay. Thanks.
Yes. So I have a question. So you earlier told that so when we are writing the listening and the reading, so we can write it all capitals. So
Yes, I did say that.
yes, my question is when we are writing the listening and reading exam, IELTS, so am I be able to capitalize it all?
You're getting stuck, my friend. I can't hear what you're saying.
Yes, my question is at this time and listening and reading subjects, when
Yeah.
we are writing, we can use all capitals. Sir.
My
Is
friend,
it okay? Do you understand, sir? What I said?
no, I don't. You're still not clear. Can you put it into the chat box? I'll check and I'll let you know. Just put it in the chat box.
Okay, sir.
All right, great. Okay, so here I've listed out the main questions that you can get, right? And most of these questions we'll discuss today. Matching headings and information. All right. There are 2 ways that you can get a matching headings question. Okay, so let me look at that question he has sent. There are some mock tests and webinars in British Council members area after we book the exam. Yes, those are very helpful, right? So, I mean, if you're getting it from the British Council, anything is valid because British Council and IDP are the ones who are giving you the papers, right? But in any case, I will share on the group today, once this webinar is done, I will share all the mock practice papers from Cambridge onto the group. So you all can directly practice those, right? But anyway, once you book the exam, you all get a few material from British Council. That's good. All right, that's good. Okay. All right, guys. So these are the main types of questions. And like I was saying, all right, like I was saying, yes, we'll do a question answer at the end. Don't worry. All right. Okay. So like I was saying, there are 2 types of matching heading questions. One type of matching headings is that they will directly give you the paragraph and then they will tell you to find a heading, right? They will directly ask you, read paragraph A and find the correct heading. Read paragraph B and find the correct heading. Do you understand what I mean? Now, when you're looking for answers there, that's very easy because all you have to do is read that particular paragraph and try to find an answer. Here, your summarization skills are very important because we can't look for keywords when it comes to finding answers like this. I'll show you because now we are doing a paper discussion. There is a matching headings type question there. right? And I'll show you how we can look for the answers, right? The next type of question is matching information. This one is very tough, right? Honestly, it's quite difficult, right? Because not because of anything else, simply because it doesn't follow this one rule that I will be explaining later, right? The rule is that all answers are usually in order, right? All answers are in order. ඔක්කොම උත්තර තියෙන්නේ පිළිවෙලට. මේ matching කියන questions දෙකේ, matching headings and matching information කියන questions දෙකේ උත්තර තියෙන්නේ පිළිවෙලට නෙමෙයි. අන්න ඒකයි අපිට ප්‍රශ්න අමාරු වෙන්නේ. right? වෙන කිසිම හේතුවක් නිසා නෙමෙයි. නමුත් matching headings කියන එක එහෙම ලොකු අමාරුවක් නැහැ. මේක තමයි ටිකක් effort එකක් දාන්න ඕනේ. Completion means you usually get a summary or you usually get different sentences where there are blanks. It's basically a fill in the blanks type question, right? Very easy. It's not very difficult. I'll teach you what you have to do. Short answer questions, again, not very difficult. We can easily find answers. True, false, not given. Yes, no, not given. This is where a lot of people struggle. These also, I will teach you exactly how you need to find answers, right? And then multiple choice or list type questions. Again, a tough type of question. We'll discuss how to find answers for these. Matching sentence endings are very rare. I mean, I've gone through maybe 1 or 2 mock tests with this type of question, right? Very rare. So this is where you get a number of sentences and you get a few options of sentence endings, right? Very rare. So we're not going to focus on that too much. So these 6 types of questions are mainly what we are going to focus on in our paper today, right? Now we will get to the paper. Before we get there, let me answer a few of your questions. All right. Okay. Now, if you have any questions, just put it into the chat box until the next. Okay. For the next 5 minutes, I'll answer your questions. Then we'll go into the paper. Okay. So Vilosha has asked, from your personal experience, would you recommend British Council or IDP? From my personal experience, as well as the experience of a lot of my students, British Council has better customer service. What do I mean? They respond to your calls faster, they help you out, they are more willing to assist you through the process. IDP, it depends on which center you call, right? It's very, the customer service is not that great. Sometimes they don't answer the phones. It's not that great. British Council, they're very efficient, right? But again, in terms of the test itself, there are no differences at all, guys. So it's the same test is offered through both. So it doesn't matter which place you book it from. Even the centers, I mean, IDP centers are good. British Council centers are also very good. So it doesn't really matter, right? So you can check out which centers are available if you go on to each of their websites. IDP has their own website. British Council has their own website. You can just go and check what are the centers, right? So you have places like BMICH, there is place like ACBT, right? These are the different centers. The centers are quality, regardless of whether you do with IDP or British Council, centers are quality. Only difference is British Council has better customer service, right? Okay. What are the question types that are in order? I will tell you what they are. Don't worry. We'll get to the paper discussion. I'll answer all those questions. So I sit for my exam on the 17th and I need to get a band 6 score. For any tips to practice? Yeah. In the paper discussion, again, I'll tell you what are the fast track techniques. Those are what you can focus on if you're doing the exam in January, right? Okay. Please, can you tell me what are the websites we can have a look at for the mock test? I'll send that to you guys. I'll send you the website for the mock test. You can do any amount of mock tests on that, right? All the Cambridge mock tests, I will send that to you. Can we write for writing and reading in capital? Writing, don't write in capital. Reading, write in capital, right? How can you join my class? I'll tell that to you at the end. Is the exam fee 75,000? Yes, I think British Council updated it just a couple of days ago to 75,000. IDP, if I'm not mistaken, has remained the same. IDP has not done any changes, but if British Council raise their prices to 75,000, then definitely IDP will also raise their prices. Right? I mean, it's not like IDP is going to offer it cheaper, right? Do I recommend the computer-based test or the paper-based test? That depends on if you can type fast, right? That depends on if you can type fast. I prefer the computer-based test, right? Because I can type really fast. My writing is really slow because I don't write too much. And I think that's the case for a lot of people, right? When it comes to, yes, you can copy paste answers in the sense, now if you're doing the writing test, yes, you can do that, right? Because you can copy what you have written and then paste it somewhere else. That can be done. So should we use pencil for? Yes, pencil throughout. Listening, reading, writing, all three, pencil only. Don't use the pen, right? Don't use the pen. Here someone has put IDP prices for paper-based test is 74,000. So that means prices have gone up. I was not aware of that, but prices have gone up. Okay. All right. So I think 5 minutes have gone. We'll get on to the paper now. Okay, I'll answer one more question. So if you're doing the paper on the 27th, when will be the speaking test? Is it before or after, or does it depend? It depends, guys. You can book a day for the speaking test. You can give them an option saying, I prefer this day. Usually it's 7 days before or after, right? If you're doing the online test, sometimes they might have it on the same day. But if you're doing the written test, definitely it will be on a different day, right? Okay. All right. Now we'll go to the paper. Okay. All right, guys. So this paper is from Cambridge Book 16, Reading Test 1, right? Cambridge Book 16, Reading Test 1. That is the paper that we are going to discuss. This is very, very important. I'm going to talk about all the techniques, the things that you need to know when you're doing the reading test. So listen very carefully and follow me very carefully. I'll give you a time to ask questions. Till then, just listen. All right? Okay. Now, as you can see, the first type of question that you have got is a true, false, and not given type question. There is no word count per se for this because all you have to do is write true, false, or not given. Some students, they put like this, right? Because they are lazy, they say T, F, N, G. Is this correct? No, this is wrong. If you say T, F, N, G instead of true, false, not given, it's wrong. Do you understand what I mean? So in your answer sheet, you have to write true, false, and not given, right? If a statement agrees with the information, that means information about your answer is given here, right? Information about this statement is given here and both of them agree. That means it's true. If what is given here and what is given here is different, then it's false, right? But the information is still there. There is information about it, but it's not the same, right? Then it's false. If there is no information about it, right? If there is no information about it, then it's not given. That means there is absolutely nothing related to this on this side in the paragraph. Do you understand what I mean? If the information is here and it's here, then it's true. If it's here and not here, then it's false. If it's not here at all, then it's not given. Clear? Okay. First.
So I always mistake false and not given. They
False
can't
and
choose the
not given.
right
Okay.
option.
So that's what I said. How do we differentiate false and not given? There is information in the paragraph. Now, if you read this statement, right, the keywords and the information related to this is there in the paragraph. It's just that this and this does not agree. They do not agree with each other, but it's there. If there is nothing related to it, then it's not given. Do you understand? Who asked that question?
Yes, I got it.
You
Thanks.
got, okay. So now let me tell you how we can find the answers. Okay. True, false, and not given is a type of question where the answers are in order. Let me explain to you what answers are in order means. Answers පිළිවෙලට තියෙන්නේ කියන එකේ තේරුම මම දැන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කියලා දෙන්නම්. Answers පිළිවෙලට තියනවා කියලා කියන්නේ මෙන්න මෙහෙමයි. උදාහරණයක් වශයෙන් අපි දැන් මේ first question එක ගත්තොත්. මේ first statement එක අපි ගන්නවා. මේ first statement එකට උත්තරේ තියෙන්නේ මෙන්න මේ line එකේ කියලා අපි හිතනවා. අපි නිකන් උදාහරණයක් වශයෙන් හිතමු, right? මෙන්න මේ line එකේ තමයි first question එකට උත්තරේ තියෙන්නේ. අපි මේකට දෙනවා true කියලා. අපි නිකන් හිතමු, right? මේ first එකට උත්තරේ true. මෙතන තියෙන එකයි සමානයි. එතකොට first එකට උත්තරේ true. right? ඊළඟ දෙවනි ප්‍රශ්නෙට උත්තරේ අනිවාර්යෙන්ම තියෙන්න ඕනේ මේකට යටින්. මේ පැරග්‍රාෆ් එකේ දෙවනි ප්‍රශ්නෙට උත්තරේ නැහැ. පැහැදිලිද? එතකොට අපිට මේ ඔක්කොම අමතක කරන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට අපි කියවන්න ඕනේ මෙන්න මේ ටික විතරයි. මේ ටික විතරක් නෙමෙයි. කියන්නේ මෙතනින් පල්ලෙහාට තමයි අපි දෙවනි ප්‍රශ්නේ උත්තරේ හොයන්න අපි read කරන්න ඕනේ. මෙතනින් උඩ අපි කියවන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. We don't have to read anything above where we found the answers. දැන් දෙවනි ප්‍රශ්නෙට උත්තරේ මේ line එකෙන් තිබ්බා කියන්නකෝ. මෙන්න මෙතන ඉඳලා මෙතෙන්ට තියෙන line එකේ තමයි දෙවනි ප්‍රශ්නෙට උත්තරේ තියෙන්නේ කියලා අපි හිතමු. right? එතෙන්ට අපි දානවා not given කියලා උත්තරයක්. අපි නිකන් හිතමු not given, right? මෙතනින් යට තමයි තුන්වෙනි ප්‍රශ්නෙට උත්තරේ තියෙන්න ඕනේ. කියන්නේ මෙතනින් යට දැන් මෙහෙ තියෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. අපි දන්නේ නැහැ. නමුත් definitely මෙතනින් උඩ ඒ උත්තරේ නැහැ. Do you understand what I mean? The answer will never be above this. The answer will always be below this. Is that clear? That's what I mean by answers are in order. Now let's take question number 7. Let's say for question number 7, the answer was right. Listen.
Yeah,
What's the
I
question?
got a question on that.
Yeah.
Okay. So like you mentioned, if we found if let's say if we couldn't find the answer for the second question, and then if we skip there and if we move back to the third, then can we decide that the answer for the second one should be in between the first and the third? If we found the answer for the third one.
No, now, okay, let's take it like this. Now you're saying if you find the answer for the second question in paragraph number 3, is that what you're asking?
No,
Then
I'm asking I find the answer for the second one, but I found the answer for the third one. So then if I move back to the second, can we decide that it would be in between the first, the line that I found the first one and the third one?
yes, that is correct. Now, if you find the answer for question number 3, let's say here, right? Let's say the answer for question number 3 is in this sentence, right? Then definitely answer for question number 2 will be above that, below question number 1. So let's say just this section, right? Let's say answer for question number 1 is here, 3 is here. That means this section will contain the answer for question number 2. Make sense?
Right. Based on that, we can even like decide the not given as well, right?
Exactly. You can decide not given based on that. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. තේරෙනව නේද? ඒ හොඳ ප්‍රශ්නයක්. එක හොඳ ප්‍රශ්නයක්. ඒ ඇහුවේ මේ හරිය උත්තරේ තියෙනවා නම් ෆස්ට් එකට උත්තරේ මෙන්න මෙතන අපි හොයාගන්න. තුන්වෙනි එකට third එකට උත්තරේ අපි මේ හරියෙන් හොයාගන්නවා. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ මැද තමයි දෙවෙනි එකට උත්තරේ අනිවාර්යෙන් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. මැද උත්තරේ නැහැ කියන්නේ not given.
Yes.
Do you understand? මැද උත්තරේ
Good
නැහැ
evening, sir.
කියන්නේ not given. Right? Yes. Another question?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have small humble request. If you could give them a chance for the questionnaire end of the session or every part, because when you continuing, when the question is answering, we are getting disturbed. So if you could ask them to do it in a particular time, that will be great, because we cannot continue the session. In between, there.
True, true.
I hope you could get my point. Thank you.
All right. Okay. All right. Yes, that's what I said at the beginning. I said, don't interrupt. I'll let you ask questions later on. All right. So I think that's a good policy to follow. Okay. All right. Keep that in mind. All right. But anyway, that was a good question regardless. But answers are always in order for true, false, and not given type questions. There are only two questions that answers are not in order. All right. There are only two questions that answers are not in order. Number one is matching information. Right. For matching information, answers are not in order. Right. Answers are not in order. For both matching questions, right? Matching headings and matching information, both answers are not in order. It's easy for you to do matching type questions because the paragraph is given, but still there is no particular order in how to find the answers. It's the same with matching information. There is no particular order on how to find answers. Classification is the other type of question where there is no order, right? Classification means there are 3 options given. There are 4 or 5 questions given. You have to classify these statements to the question. Again, no particular order is given. So classification and matching headings and matching information both, right? Classification and matching, no order. Every other type of question, there is an order. Therefore, once you read paragraph 1, you never have to go back and read paragraph 1 again, right? Once you read paragraph 1, you don't have to go and read paragraph 1 again. What I was trying to say earlier is, now imagine the answer for question number 7 is somewhere here, right? The answer for question number 7 is somewhere here, all right? Then now this is a new question. Altogether, this is a new question. What is this question? This is a fill in the blanks or completion type question. Definitely the answers for that will be below where you found answers for question number 7. That means below this. So you never have to go back and read all of this again. A lot of people lose time because they keep reading the same things over and over again. You do not have to read the same things over and over again. Answers are in order, which means once you have read a specific part of the paragraph, you never have to read it again, unless it's a classification or a matching type question, right? Unless it's one of those two questions, you never have to read the same part of the paragraph multiple times. All right. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Then we come, so keep that rule in mind, right? When you know that rule, it's very easy to find the answers. Okay. Then we come to the actual techniques of finding answers. Okay. When you find answers, there are 3 things that you have to do. You have skimming, scanning, and focused reading. Now, when you first get the paper, the first thing you have to do is skim through the paper. Skim means you just go through the paragraphs and try to highlight the key words, right? You go through the paragraph and try to highlight the keywords. There are a number of keywords that you should know. Number 1, proper nouns, right? Proper nouns are a type of keywords. Numbers are a type of keyword. Any number, right? If you see, for example, 11 here, that's a keyword. If you see a date or a year. You see 2014 here, you highlight that, right? Proper nouns, numbers, dates, scientific terms, right? If you see any scientific term, just highlight it. If you're doing the online test, you have the opportunity to use a highlighter. If you're doing the written test, you can just underline. Do you understand what I mean? Proper nouns, numbers, dates, scientific terms. Highlight those immediately, right? That's what you do when it comes to skimming, right? You quickly go through the paragraph and you highlight those keywords. Now, if you have practiced enough times, it's going to be very easy for you to do this, right? If you have gone through, if you have read, if you are able to comprehend information fast, it's not going to be very difficult for you, all right? So you need to practice this multiple times to quickly highlight whatever names. So proper nouns are any sort of name, right? Names of people, names of animals, names of oceans, names of countries, days of the week. All of these are proper nouns, right? Days of the week, months of this. If you see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, proper noun, highlight. If you say January, February, March, highlight. If you see, for example, the Arctic Circle, highlight. If you see Pacific Ocean, highlight. If you see a name, Shi Ping Liu, highlight. Clear? Take about 2 minutes per paragraph, right? So first do it for the first paragraph, then answer the questions. Do it for the second paragraph, answer the questions, right? Skimming, that's what you do. While you're doing that, just try to get an overall understanding of what you're reading, right? Don't try to read polar bears are being increasingly threatened by the effects of climate. That's going to take you forever, right? Just go through, and try to get an understanding. Now, you might be thinking, hey, our English knowledge is not that great. How can we understand something so fast? That's where practice comes in. If you follow the pacing method, if you follow the summarizing method, easily when it comes for the test, you can do this quite fast, right? If you don't practice and go, it's going to look unimaginably difficult, right? But if you practice and go, it's going to be quite easy. So that's skimming. Okay, skimming is underlining and going through the keywords, all right, getting an overall idea of what you're reading. Now comes the two main parts, scanning and focused reading. Okay, before we get to scanning and focused reading, we need to know what to scan. What do we scan, right? There are two things that we scan for. We scan for fixed keywords, right? And flexible keywords. I'll put it into the chat box. You can write it down. Fixed keywords and flexible keywords, right? This is what we have to find in the paragraph. What are fixed keywords? Fixed keywords are anything that I mentioned above. What did I say? Proper nouns, dates, numbers, scientific terms. Any of these things are fixed keywords. These things do not change. The name Shi Ping Liu will never change. There is no synonym for this name. They can't call him Ko Pang Lao, right? It's always Shi. Like, you can't call me anything other than Shashan, right? If they say Harshika, that's an entirely different person. So it's fixed, right? If you say Arctic Ocean is going to be the same. If they say Pacific Ocean, it's an entirely different ocean. Do you understand what I mean? If they say 11 centimeters, 11 is always going to be the same. Do you understand what I mean? So if you have fixed keywords, those are the easiest ones to find, right? You have polar bears here, for example. What type of bear? Polar bear, right? Okay. That's the easiest one to locate, polar bear. You'll find polar bear here, right? Easy word to locate. But if you take, for example, health problems, do you think that will remain the same? No. That will have synonyms, right? You can say sicknesses, right? You can say detrimental health, right? different words like that can be used. Synonyms can be used, right? If synonyms can be used, they are called flexible keywords. If a word has a synonym, if a word has another similar word, those are called flexible keywords. Why flexible? Because they can change. So the first thing you do is try and locate those fixed keywords. That is going to be very easy for you because already when you are skimming, you have highlighted those words. So all you have to do is just look here, look back here, you will automatically see it. Then what you have to do is try to find the flexible keywords. For this, you need to know a few synonyms, right? You need to know a few synonyms to words. Now, if you look at this sentence, right? Polar bears suffer from various health problems due to the buildup of fat under their skin, right? What are the keywords? This is a fixed keyword, polar bear. Okay, suffer from various health problems. They get sick. They get sick. Okay, we have to find a synonym for that, or maybe even the same word. So getting sick is one of our keywords. Due to the buildup of fat under their skin, right? Buildup of fat, again, another keyword. We might have synonyms for that. Under their skin, right? They get sick because fat builds up under their skin. Okay, now we have to look for that in the paragraph. Polar bears, we can easily see here. Polar bears, we can easily see here. Can we find the word sick or health problems somewhere around here, right? More than that, we found underneath their skin, right? Under their skin, underneath their skin. Okay, we have located one particular word, right? Suffer from diabetes and heart disease. Okay, they're sick, they get sick, right? Okay, so answer should be somewhere here in this section, right? Because we have located keyword one, fixed keyword, under the skin, directly a flexible keyword has been given. Suffer from various illnesses, suffer from diabetes and heart disease, health problems, right? Answer, we can't say it's in this line exactly, but it's definitely somewhere here, right? Definitely in this section. Then what do we do? Now we have scanned and located. Now we have to focus read. Keep your finger and start reading clearly. Humans with comparative levels of adipose tissue would be considered obese, right? Oh no, we are reading from here. One reason for this is that they have up to 11 centimeters of fat underneath their skin. Humans with comparative levels of adipose tissue would be considered obese and would be likely to suffer from diabetes and heart disease. Yet, polar bear experiences no such consequences. No such consequences. Humans with fat, they are considered obese and they suffer from illnesses. Polar bears experience no such consequences. Clear? Polar bears have no consequences. What does it say here? Polar bears suffer consequences. Polar bears suffer from health problems. Is this true or false? This would be false. Why is it false? The information here does not agree with the information here. Does that make sense? All right. Okay. Then we move on to question number 2. So now what is our rule? The answer for the second question is not going to be above this. So we forget about this first paragraph. Don't even look at it again. Okay. I want you to find the answer to question number 2 and put it onto the chat box. Don't say it, put it onto the chat box, right? False, true, not given, whatever. Put it onto the chat box. I'll give you about 2 minutes, right? It's 8:19 by 8:21. Try to find the answer. Okay, a lot of people are saying false. Okay. False. Read carefully, right? Read carefully, follow the same technique, right? Locate the fixed keyword first, then the flexible keywords. Okay. False. False. Someone has said files. Be careful, huh? Don't misspell the word, it will be wrong. All right, false, false, good, false. All right, okay. So I'll help you find the answer. Good. So all of you are correct. How did you find the answer? You locate this keyword first, liu. It's right here, right? Then you locate different groups of polar bears, right? So polar bears should be there ideally, and different groups, right? Polar bears are here, right? They compare the compared is also here, right? Okay, sorry. Compared is also here, all right? But compared, there is no different group. So we'll focus, read this and see. A 2014 study by Shiping Liu and colleagues sheds light on this mystery. They compared the genetic structure of polar bears with that of their closest relative from a warmer climate, the brown bears. So have they compared different groups of bears? Yes, right? But not different groups of polar bears, right? They have compared the polar bear with the brown bear. So they have compared two different types of bears, but not compared different types of polar bears. That is why the answer is incorrect or false. False, right? The information that is given here and the information that is given here is different, right? Good. All right. Okay, try to find the answer now for question number 3. All right. So again, I won't scroll down. So the answer should be now, it's below this for sure. It should be definitely above this point. Question number 3. All right. Okay, good. A lot of people are quite fast. Very good. Good, good. Good. All right. So again, Liu and colleagues, right? Liu and colleagues is here, right? And what have they said? Were the first researchers to compare polar bears and brown bears genetically, right? Okay, now we have a problem. You remember the genetic structure that was here. Okay, can we find another one here? Yes. This allowed them to determine the genes that have allowed polar bears to survive in one of the toughest environments on Earth, right? If we read on here, no. This word, first researchers, is not here, right? They said 2014 study by Shiping Liu and colleagues shed light on this mystery, right? We've already read that. But it never said that they were the first researchers, right? This part is not there in the paragraph. Therefore, the answer is not given, right? They have compared the genes and they have compared polar bears and brown bears, but we had two problems. Problem number 1 was brown bears and polar bears. That part was here, not below that. So already we knew something was wrong, but we couldn't find this part, first researchers, right? Therefore, the answer is not given, all right? Similarly, for all of these questions, you follow that same structure, right? If you just do one more question from that, polar bears are able to control the levels of bad cholesterol by genetic means. Again, polar bears, okay, you have it here and you have it here. Bad cholesterol, okay, bad cholesterol is here, right? So if you just read maybe from this part, Liu and his colleagues found the polar bears had a gene known as APOB, which reduces levels of low density lipoproteins, a form of bad cholesterol, right? So what have they asked? Polar bears are able to control their levels of bad cholesterol by genetic means. Reduce levels of low density lipoproteins, a form of bad cholesterol, using this gene. This information and this information is correct. It tallies. So therefore, it is true. Clear? Now, some of you had a question. Okay, we have difficult words. For example, now, let's take this one, bad cholesterol or APOB, a gene known as APOB, low density lipoproteins. We don't necessarily have to know the meanings of these words. Some of these scientific terms, even I don't know the meanings of these words. Some people, we genuinely don't know. But we don't need to know the meanings of every word to find the correct answer, right? When we read this, Liu and his colleagues found the polar bear had a gene known as APOB. What is this? We don't know, but he had that, which reduces the levels of low density lipoproteins. What is this? We don't know. But we have said here a form of bad cholesterol. That has been given directly in the question. A form of bad cholesterol. This helps to reduce this. That's all we need to know. This is similar to this. Therefore, it is true. Do you understand what I mean? Same principle you can apply for all of these questions, right? You find the fixed keywords, you find the flexible keywords, then you focus read that entire section. Now, again, you might have a question. Okay, won't it take a lot of time to keep focused reading all these sections? I mean, we are reading about 6 to 7 lines per question. What is the alternative to that? You read this entire thing again and again and again and again. More than doing that, this method makes it much more easier to find the answers. Do you get what I mean? Right? This method makes it much more easier to find the answers. All right. Then we'll go into question number 8 to 13. You just have a look at this type of question, right? So if we can find the answer to question number 8, then we know the answers are going to be below that. So, okay. The other thing that I wanted to touch before I get into this type of question is the word count. All right. There are 6 different types of word counts that you can get, right? You can either get 1 word only, 2 words only, 3 words only, 1 word and or a number, 2 words and or a number, 3 words and or a number, right? These are the 6 types of word counts that you can get. Now, for example, let's say you get 2 words and or a number. 2 words and or a number. Okay, you want to write the answer 2 black dogs. All right, if you write this answer, this is incorrect because this counts as 3 words. But if you write 2 black dogs, this is correct. 2 is a number. A number should be written numerically, right? 2 should be written as a number, and then black dogs are counted as 2 words. Do you understand what I mean? So, for example, if you take another type of word count, 3 words and or a number, you write 4 big black dogs. This would be a correct answer because 4 is written numerically. If you write 4 in letters, that is incorrect, right? If they have said 2 words only and you write 2 big black dogs, wrong. If you write 2 black dogs, that is also wrong. You can only write black dogs, right? 2 words only means black dogs. If you write even a single number or a single word more, your answer is incorrect. Right? Your entire answer is incorrect. Clear? All right. Then look at this type of question, right? Sentence completion. All right. So if you look here, people think of bears as unintelligent. Okay. There is no fixed keyword here. The only one would be polar bears, but polar bears has been repeated multiple times. So that's really not any help. Unintelligent would be the best next word that we can find. It's still a flexible keyword, but we could find a word like stupid. We could find a word like idiotic. We could find a word like unintelligent would be unable to learn. Something like that should be there. So if you can find that, we should be able to locate the answer for question number 8. Intelligent. Okay. That's the opposite of unintelligent. Let's check and see if we can find here, stupid. Right? Stupid. Okay. If we just focus read this section, bears, on the other hand, seem to be perceived as stupid and in many cases violent. All right. People think of bears as unintelligent, stupid, and violent. So violent would be the answer here. Again, keep in mind, guys, if your spellings are wrong, then your answer will be wrong. So if you write violent like this, it's wrong, right? The examiner knows you have found the correct answer, but you have spelled it incorrectly. So you have to spell it properly. So it has to be VIOLENT. Look at the paragraph and write the answer, right? Violent. So that would be a correct answer. Now we know, okay, the answer for question number 9 will be below this, right? Not above, below. Tennoji Zoo, a bear has been seen using a branch as a blank, right? Now, this is counted as another question, so we don't really have to look at that. We look at this first. Tennoji Zoo is here. A bear has been using a branch as a blank. Okay, a branch, it doesn't really have any other synonyms, right? So we can probably look for that word as well. Branch, right? Okay, so let's read from here. A male bear called Gogo in Tennoji Zoo, Osaka, has even been observed making use of a tool to manipulate his environment. The bear used a tree branch on multiple occasions. Okay, the bear used a tree branch as a tool. So the bear was observed using a tool. What was that tool? That tool was the tree branch. Therefore, in Tennoji Zoo, a bear has been seen using a branch as a tool. Tool has to be your answer here. Is that clear? This allowed him to knock down some blank. Okay, now we're just continuing this sentence, right? This allowed him to knock down some blank. Okay, the bear used a tree branch on multiple occasions to dislodge a piece of meat hung out of his reach. Dislodge means knock down. Knock down what? Knock down a piece of meat. Can we write piece of meat? No, we can't. Why? Because it says one word only. අපිට piece of meat කියලා ලියන්න බැහැ. මොකද මෙතන තියෙන්නේ one word only කියලා. අපි එහෙනම් ලියන්න වෙන්නේ meat. Clear? Meat. Okay. Try to find the answer for question number 11 and post it onto the chat box. Question number 11. So same strategy, right? You locate the keywords and then you write the answer. You focus read and you write the answer. Question number 11. Answer should be below this point. From here downwards, right? Okay, someone has sent, Dil has sent the correct answer. Anyone else? Good, good. Okay. Locate the keywords, right? Now, wild polar bear, right? This is flexible, but this is fixed. Polar bear should be easy to find. Definitely below which point? Definitely below this point, right? Definitely below this point. So you're looking from down here, right? Method of reaching a platform. Reaching a platform. That should be another keyword where a blank was located. So platform should be your other keyword. Try to locate that and then read carefully. Good, good, good. All right. A lot of people have got the answer. Very good. Right? Very good. The answer is, yes, you're correct. It's photographer. How is it the photographer? It says wild polar bear worked out a method of reaching a platform where a blank was located. Right. Platform is here, right? Male bear, polar bear, wild polar bear is actually here, right? A calculated move by a male bear involved running and jumping onto barrels. Okay. He worked out a method of reaching a platform. So what was the method? Running and jumping onto barrels in an attempt to get to a photographer standing on a platform 4 meters high. Who was he trying to locate? කාවදයා හොයාගන්න හදලා තියෙන්නේ? Photographer. Right? Photographer. Clear? So the correct answer is photographer. All right, very good. Okay, we'll quickly do question number 12 as well. Question number 12. Polar bears have displayed behavior such as conscious manipulation of objects and activity similar to a blank. Quickly type the answer. Good, good. All right, some people are very perceptive. Very nice. All right, good. Everyone seems to be getting it right. Very good. All right. Good. So here it says polar bears have displayed behavior such as conscious manipulation of objects and activity similar to a blank. All right. Okay. So now we know, now we found the answer for question number 11 over here. That means the answer has to be below that. So below this, in these paragraphs, right? Conscious manipulation. So polar bears, behavior, conscious manipulation. Here, polar bears, conscious means deliberate, manipulation. Okay. In other studies, such as the one Allison Ames in 2008, polar bears showed deliberate and focused manipulation. For example, Ames observed bears putting objects in piles and then knocking them over in what appeared to be a game, right? For example, Ames observed bears putting objects in piles and then knocking them over in what appeared to be a game, right? So what have they said? Polar bears have displayed behavior such as conscious manipulation of objects and activities similar to a game, right? So same thing has been given here. So the answer would be game. So when you're writing the answer, write it in all capitals. Otherwise, in this case, all simple, right? Because it's the end of a sentence, right? But if you're writing every answer in capital, then just write in capital, right? Finally, question number 13. Some people have already put the answers. Okay, good. Good. So those of you who have put the answer, you'll see. Bears may also display emotions. For example, they may make movements suggesting. All right, let's read and see. So answer has to be below this part, right? We'll look at emotions. That should be a good word to find. Where is the word emotions? Right? Emotions is here. All right. They make movements, right? They make movements if they're disappointed. All right. Bears have been seen to hit out at snow similar to frustration when they have missed out. Missed out on a kill means disappointed when hunting, right? When they're hunting, they have missed out on it. They haven't been able to kill. So they're disappointed. So what are they doing? many bears have been seen to hit out at ice and snow, seemingly out of frustration when they have missed out on a kill. So it's frustration, right? The answer should be frustration. They make movements suggesting frustration if disappointed when hunting. Is that clear? Right? So that's how you find the answer. So skimming, scanning, and focused reading. So in order to develop these techniques properly, you have to practice again and again. I mean, some people, they're very perceptive, they're finding the answers fast. But if I were to count, I would say this is less than 20 or 30 people out of 236 who are putting the answers that fast, right? So in order to find the answers, you have to practice these techniques again and again and again and again. Then when you look at the question and look at the paragraph, easily you can locate the keywords. Once you locate the keywords, you have to focused read. When you focused read, you should be able to understand. So again, in order to understand, you should have done your papers, you should have done your reading practices. So to answer the questions of those who asked, if I'm doing the test on the 13th or if I'm doing the test on the 18th, what do I do? You have to perfect this method. Skimming, scanning, focused reading. Makes it very easy for you to locate the answers, right? You don't have time to go and summarize and read and all of that. Just do papers. Maybe before the 13th, do at least 10 to 15 papers. Keep practicing the same thing again and again and again and again. Then when you go for the paper, you'll easily be able to find answers. All right. We'll do one other type of question. And this is something that, again, a lot of people said was difficult, right? And that's matching headings. All right. That's for the second question here. This type of question is not very difficult. So do it, right? Do it and move down. Although the answers are not in order, right? Answers are not in order. You only have to read this paragraph to find the correct answer. So it's very easy to read this, right? Read it, find the answer. Read this, find the answer. Why should you do this question and move forward? Because when you come here, you have already read most of the paragraphs. Not most of the paragraphs, almost all the paragraphs you have read. Then just finding this is going back and locating where you missed out, right? Locating the answer. So here again, we come back to that same method of skimming, scanning, focused reading. Answers are in order here. So if you locate this first one, then answers are going to be in order, right? Only here you're going to have a problem, but even here, you only have to read this particular paragraph to find the correct answer. So it's not going to be that difficult. Skimming, scanning, focused reading still applies. All right. Okay. Before I explain this question, do you have any other questions that you would like to ask? Is everything clear up to now? Can I just have a raise of hands if everything is clear? You can raise your virtual hand. All right.
Hello.
Yes, ask the question.
Sir, මට තාමත් මේ පාඩමේ මගේ තාමත් කන්ෆියුස් වෙන්නේ මගේ ප්‍රශ්නේ තමයි අපිට රයිටින් එකේ රීඩින් එකේදී රීඩින් ලිස්නින් එකේදී එක්සෑම් එකේදී රීඩින් එකයි ලිස්නින් එකයි පුළුවන්
පුතේ ඔය කියන එක ගොඩක් unclear. මට හරියට ඇහෙන්නෙම නෑ ඔය කියන දේ. ඔයාට ඒක ටයිප් කරලා දාන්න පුළුවන් නම් සිංහලෙන් හරි මට එතකොට උත්තරයක් දෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඔව් ටෙක්ස්ට් එකක් දැම්මම මට ගොඩක් ලේසියි. මට නැත්තම් තේරෙන්නෙම නෑ. Okay, so Ayesha has asked, filling the blanks with the given set of answers is somewhat difficult. Filling the blanks with a given set of answers. So what you mean by that is, okay, for example, if you have blanks like this and a number of answers have been given, that actually make things a lot easier, not harder, right? Because you follow the same technique. Answers are still in order, right? And all you have to do is locate the correct keywords. That's it, right? There's no difference to what we have been doing up till now. You understand what I mean? There is no difference to what we have been doing up till now. All right. So most people have said yes, yes, yes. They've understood what we have been doing up to now. හරි. මෙතෙන්ට කරපේවා තේරෙනවා කියලා ගොඩක් අය කියලා තියෙනවා. දැන් මේ වගේ ප්‍රශ්නයක් ආවම matching headings, right? Matching headings. මෙතනදී ඔයා මුළු එකම කියවන්න ඕන. Right? මෙතනදී ගොඩක් අය කියනවා දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ YouTube හරි වෙන ටීචර් කෙනෙක්ගෙන් හරි ඉගෙනගෙන තියෙනවා නම් ගොඩක් ටීචර්ස්ලා මෙතනදී recommend කරන්නේ, right? Guys, there's some sort of static. Okay, anyway. ගොඩක් අය මෙතනදී recommend කරන්නේ පළවෙනි වාක්‍යයයි අන්තිම වාක්‍යයයි කියවලා heading එක ගැන අවබෝධයක් ගන්න කියලා. එහෙම කරන්න බෑ. Right? මොකද අපි මේක කියවුවේ නැත්නම් අපිට මේක ඇතුලේ මොනවද තියෙන්නේ කියලා හිතා ගන්නවත් බෑ. Right? ඉතින් අපි තැන් වල යන්න ඕනේ නෑනේ. අපි දැන් මේගොල්ලෝ හිතන්නකෝ මෙහෙම තිබ්බා. දැන් මේගොල්ලෝ කියනවා පැරග්‍රාෆ් එක ලියන්න මේ heading එකට හරියන. එහෙම කිව්වොත් ගොඩක් අමාරුයි. මොකද ඕගොල්ලෝ දන්නේ නැහැ දැන් මොන පැරග්‍රාෆ් එකද කියවන්න ඕන කියලා. එහෙම කියලා නෑ මෙතන. right? මෙතනදී කියලා තියෙන්නේ මේ පැරග්‍රාෆ් එක කියවලා මෙතනින් heading එකක් තෝරගන්න කියලා විතරයි. Very easy. Right? Very easy. What do you have to do? Read this full thing. මේ මුළු එකම කියවන්න. Right? මේක කියවලා අවබෝධයක් ඔයා නිකන් summarize කරගන්න මොකද්ද මේකේ තියෙන්නේ කියන එක. එතකොට එතන උත්තරේ automatically මෙතන තියෙනවා. අපි උදාහරණයක් වශයෙන් මේක ගමු. Right? The pyramids are the most famous monuments of ancient Egypt and still hold enormous interest for people in the present day. These grand, impressive tributes to the memory of the Egyptian kings have become linked with the country, even though other cultures such as the Chinese and Mayan also built pyramids. The evolution of the pyramid form has been written and argued about for centuries. However, there is no question that as far as Egypt is concerned, it began with one monument to one king designed by one brilliant architect, the step pyramid of Djoser at Saqqara. Okay. මෙතනදී මොකද්ද කියන්නේ? මෙතනදී කියන්නේ ඊජිප්තුවේ මේ සකාරා ප්‍රදේශයේ ජෝස කියන පිරමීඩය, right? step පිරමීඩය හදලා තියෙන්නේ එක brilliant architect කෙනෙක්. එක king කෙනෙක් වෙනුවෙන්. ගොඩක් අය ආගියු කරලා තියෙනවා මේ පිරමිඩ් කියන සංකල්පය කොහොමද හැදුනේ කියලා. නමුත් කිසිම බාධකයකින් තොරව, කිසිම ප්‍රශ්නකින් තොරව මිනිස්සු ඔක්කොම එකඟ වෙනවා මේ එක ආකිටෙක්ට් කෙනෙක් තමයි මේ ස්ටෙප් පිරමිඩ් කියන එක හදලා තියෙන්නේ. හරි. ඒක සම්බන්ධයෙන් මොනවද තියෙන්නේ කියලා අපි බලමු. The areas and artifacts within the pyramid. නෑ, artifacts කියන මුකුත්ම කියලා නෑ මෙතන. Difficult task කියන එකක් කියලාත් නෑ. King who saved කියන එකක් කියලාත් නෑ. Single certainty among other less definite facts. A single certainty, කිසිම ප්‍රශ්නකින් තොරව fact එකක් මෙතන තියෙනවානේ මෙතන තියෙනවා. Other less definite facts. People have argued about the form. කියන්නේ මිනිස්සු ගහගෙන තියෙනවා මේ form එක සම්බන්ධයෙන් ගහගෙන තියෙනවා. එතකොට ඒකත් මෙතන තියෙනවා. මේ single certainty කියන එකත් මෙතන තියෙනවා. එතකොට හතරවෙනි එක මේකට උත්තරේ කියලා අපිට හිතන්න පුළුවන්. right? හරි. එතකොට හතර තමයි පළවෙනි එකට උත්තරේ. ඒක දැන් out. අපි යනවා දෙවෙනි එකට. දෙවෙනි එක කියුවත් ඒ විදියම තමයි. right? Same procedure. We read it, we find the correct heading. We read this, we find the correct heading. Right? So matching headings is not going to be that difficult for you. Right? What will be difficult is matching information. මෙන්න මේ වගේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට line එකක් දෙනවා. දැන් මෙතනදී කියනවා the areas and artifacts within the pyramid itself. දැන් මොනවද කරන්නේ? right? දැන් මොනවද කරන්නේ? මේක අපි කොහෙන් හොයන්නද? right? කොහෙන් හොයන්නද? මෙතනදී උත්තර හොයන්න පුළුවන් එකම විදිය තමයි keywords locate කරගන්න එක. right? areas and artifacts. Artifacts තමයි අපිට හොයන්න පුළුවන් ලේසිම keyword එක මෙතන. Right? It's still not a fixed keyword. Make a fixed keyword එකක් නෙමෙයි. Right? Make a flexible keyword එකක්. Right? Flexible keyword එකක්. Artifacts කියලා කියන්නේ. එතකොට එක එක ඒවා තියෙනවා pots, pans, tools මේ වගේ එක එක ඒවා use කරන්න පුළුවන් artifacts කිව්වම. ඒක තමයි අපි දැන් locate කරගන්න ඕනේ. මේ matching information කියන question එක ආවොත්. එතකොට ඕගොල්ලන්ට තේරෙනවා අපිට දැන් එක තැනකින් මේ උත්තර හොයාගන්න බෑ matching information ආවොත්. සමහර විට පළවෙනි ප්‍රශ්නෙටම උත්තරය මෙතනින් එන්න පුළුවන්. Maybe the answer to the first question might be here. So now we are going through this, reading. We are never going to find the answers, right? It's difficult, right? What do? We drop that question and we do everything else. In the end, if we have about 10 to 20 minutes, we won't have 20 minutes, but if we have about 10 minutes, we come back and we do that question. Then relax your mind and do the questions properly. Because maximum you'll get is 8 questions. Right? No, not 8 questions. Sorry, yeah. You'll get about 6 to 7 questions. Right? You'll get about 6 to 7 questions for a matching information type question. So let's say you don't have time to come and complete it. You're still okay. If you're targeting a band 6.57, you're still okay. Right? But best is to come back and do it. Right? Best option is to come back and do it. But it's still going to be a difficult task if you try to attempt it in the middle. If you do a matching information type question in the middle of your question paper, chances are you will run out of time. Do you understand what I mean? Chances are you will run out of time. Therefore, drop a matching information type question and complete everything else and come back to it at the end. Right? Come back to it at the end, right? Okay, I hope that is clear, right? Okay, now if you look at another example, let's take a random one here, paragraph G, right? Egyptologist Miroslav Werner writes, few monuments hold a place in human history as significant as that of the Step Pyramid in Saqqara. It can be said without exaggeration that this pyramid complex constitutes a milestone in the evolution of monumental stone architecture in Egypt and in the world as a whole. The Step Pyramid was a revolutionary advance in architecture and became the archetype which all the other great pyramid builders of Egypt would follow. The areas and artifacts? No. A difficult task? No. A king who saved his people? No. A single? No. We have already given this as an answer. An overview of the external buildings? No, right? Because they're not talking about anything outside of the pyramid, right? A pyramid design that others copied. That can be the answer. Why? They're saying became the archetype, right? Became the foundation which all other great pyramid builders of Egypt would follow, right? Do you understand what I mean? Now, if you follow the advice where they say, read the first line and the last line, in this question, that's correct. You will get the answer. But if you look at the first one that we found, right, this is going to be difficult. Because how did we get the answer? We got the answer from here. The form has been written and argued. මේ කෑල්ල කියුවේ නැත්තම් අපිට මේ උත්තරේ කියලා figure out කරගන්න බෑ. Right? ඒක නිසා අර method එකට යන්න එපා. ඒ කියන්නේ මේකයි විතරක් කියවලා උත්තර හොයන්න හදන්න එපා. Full paragraph එක කියවලා ඒකට උත්තරේ හොයාගන්න. එතකොට ඔයාලට කොහොමත් මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ ගොඩාක් ලේසි වෙනවා. මොකද හැම paragraph එකම ඔයගොල්ලෝ කියවලා තියෙන්නේ. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පොඩි හරි idea එකක් තියෙනවා මොන paragraph එකේද මේ keywords තියෙන්නේ කියලා. Then you quickly go and you find the answers. Do you understand what I mean? All right. Okay, guys. So unfortunately, we are running out of time. So we will have to stop here, right? But I hope you got a clear understanding today of how to find answers, how to prepare for the test, and a few techniques that will help you find the answers in a proper way. All right. Before I let you ask any questions, let me quickly tell you about our 10-day program, right? Since a lot of you had requested. අපේ 10-day program එක මෙහෙමයි වෙන්නේ. අපි මාසයක් පුරාවට තමයි දවස් 10 හදලා තියෙන්නේ. right? ඒක නිසා ඔයගොල්ලෝ ජනවාරි 12 වෙනිදා 13 වෙනිදා කරනවා නම් අපේ group classes join වෙලා තේරුමක් නැහැ. එහෙමනම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ individual classes schedule කරගන්න ඕනේ. right? අපි මාසයක් අරගෙන කරන්න හේතුව තමයි IELTS වලට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් දවස් 2කින් 3කින් ළමයෙක්ව ඒ responsibility එක ගන්න අමාරුයි. මොකද ළමයාගේ ඉංග්‍රීසි ලෙවල් එක හදන්න ඕනේ. අපි papers discuss කරන්න ඕනේ. දැන් මෙතනදී අපි paper භාගයයි discuss කරේ. discuss කරන වෙලා තිබ්බේ භාගයයි. නමුත් class එකේදී අපි full papers discuss කරනවා. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට full mock tests කරන්න දීලා ඒවා discuss කරනවා. right? මේකට වෙලා ඕනේ. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට practice කරන්න වෙලා ඕනේ. right? ඒක නිසා අපි මාසික කාලයක් කරන් classes කරනවා. right? මාසික කාලයක් කරන් classes කරනවා. එතනදී අපි සතියට දවස් දෙකක් classes කරනවා. Every Tuesday and Friday අපි classes කරනවා. right? You have to join both classes and we finish classes in 1 month and 1 week. ඉතින් ඕගොල්ලෝ February ඉඳලා IELTS කරනවා නම් exam එක කරනවා නම් ඕගොල්ලන්ට අපේ 10-day class එක පටන් ගන්නවා මේ 12 වෙනිදා එදා join වෙන්න පුළුවන්. right? February ඉඳන් කරන කට්ටිය. January කරන අය individual classes වලට schedule වෙන්න. අනිත් අයට ඕන එක්කෙනෙක්ට group classes තමයි මම recommend කරන්නේ join වෙන්න කියලා. group classes වල price එක ඕගොල්ලෝ එකපාර සල්ලි ගෙවනවා නම් 22000 විතරයි. right? රුපියල් 22000ක් විතරයි. ඕගොල්ලෝ installments දෙකකට ගෙවනවා නම් ඕගොල්ලෝ 25000ක් ගෙවන්න ඕනේ. ඒ කියන්නේ මුලින්ම 15000ක් ගෙවන්න ඕනේ. ඊළඟට 10000ක් ගෙවන්න ඕනේ. නමුත් එකපාර ගෙවනවා නම් ලේසි ඕගොල්ලන්ට 22000ක ප්‍රමාණයක් විතරයි යන්නේ. right? අපේ sales කරන එක්කෙනා අපේ student coordinator දැන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට message එක දායි 9ට 9යි 10ට විතර මම දැන් group එක mute කරනවා. admins ලට විතරක් messages දාන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න. ඊට කලින් guys, I mean I would really appreciate if you could put a message on the group, saying how the webinar helped you out. right? Because we hope to do a lot more webinars. Every month we do a webinar, right? Every month we do a webinar. So just to get more people in and, now we have more than 600, 700 people on the group, but only 200 people have showed up, right? So we need to do a bit more publicity, right? And it'll be really helpful to me, right? If you guys could put a message on the WhatsApp group saying how the webinar, if the webinar was helpful, how it helped you. If it wasn't helpful, that's also fine. Let us know. Right? Because we'll see how we can change our structure of what we are doing and give you a better service. All right. So positive or negative feedback, let me know on the group. Then at about 9:15, I'll mute the group. We'll put the information about our classes, right? Anyone who wants to join the classes can reach out to the person who puts that information. His name is Ashen. You can reach out to him and register for our 10-day classes. We are starting on the 12th of January. All right. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Someone has asked, what are the rates for the 10-day classes? Like I said, if you're paying as a one-time payment, it's only 22,000. If you're doing in 2 installments, it's going to be 25,000, 15,000 and 10,000. Right. I will send you the mock papers on the group, guys. All right. I will send you the mock papers on the group. And don't worry, classes will be, we'll conduct it in English. But if you need additional help in Sinhala, we'll provide that as well. Right? Once you join our classes, we ensure to be with you until you pass. And it's not just the 10 classes. Let's say you're doing the exam in April. Once you pay for our January classes, you can join until April for free. Right? So we let you join repeatedly because we don't want you to run out of practice, right? We want you to get the maximum practice possible. So we just let you join for free for as many classes as you want. All right. So don't worry. Even if you're doing in April, May, June, you can still join and just keep coming for the classes again and again. I am there with you 100%. We have a number of other teachers as well. And we're going to help you get the best possible band score. All right. Any questions now before we wrap up? Any questions?
So excuse me.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask from you, what are the easy questions regarding the reading paper, so we can do it first, and the difficult one we can just keep it, hold on, and firstly we can do the easy paper.
Like I told you, matching information is the most difficult type of question. Do you understand what I mean? Matching information is the most difficult type of question. Other than that, every other question type is not too hard. So I would recommend, if you have true, false, not given, completion type question, yes, no, not given, right? All these types of questions, list type questions, multiple choice questions, all of these different questions are easy if you follow my technique, because the answers are always in order for these types of questions. Do you understand? Therefore, it's not hard to find. If at all, matching headings also might be a bit tough. But other than that, matching information, and like I told you at the beginning, classification type questions, those two are the only ones that you should leave to the end and not do during the paper. Everything else, do it and move forward. Do you understand?
So there's one thing I had to ask from you. All the answers in the same paper, no? I mean the basics to the paper. I mean, not in our own ideas, own answers.
As in, I don't understand.
The answer should be right based to the paper. Focus on the paper answers. We can't write our own answers.
Yes,
I
yes,
mean,
of course. I mean, of course, if you're doing the reading paper, right? So there are no answers that you think can write. All the answers have to be there exactly like that in the reading passage. Do you understand what I mean?
yes. Especially the fill in the blank also same, no?
Every question, the answer will be there exactly like that in the paper. Make sense?
Okay, so now I got it. Yeah, thanks.
No problem. All right, guys. Any other questions? I think we have about a minute or two more.
So can you share the free mock test websites, please?
I will share that. I will share that as soon as we end the meeting.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Tell.
Hello. Sir, මගේ ප්‍රශ්නේ තමයි sir මේ අපිට reading එකයි listening එකයි all capital වලින් ලියන්න පුළුවන් නේද exam එකේදී?
Reading
එකයි
එකයි.
writing එකයි.
Oh, reading එකයි listening එකයි දෙකම capital වලින් ලියන්න පුළුවන්. Reading එකයි
Thank you, sir.
listening
Thank you.
එකයි දෙකම capital වලින් ලියන්න පුළුවන්. Writing එක ලියන්න එපා, right? Writing එක ලියන්න එපා. Clearද?
Clear, sir. Thank you.
Okay, okay. All right, guys. Any other questions?
Reading, sir.
So, okay.
I don't have any question. I would like to extend my gratitude. Thank you for your time, especially you answering the question in even the middle of the explain with a very patient. Everything's very clear. I wish if you could continue the program, it will be really grateful. And wishing you all the very best, and God bless you, sir.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Hello,
All right.
sir. I have one more. I have a question, but this is regarding the listening part.
Sure.
Actually, I am going to take the computer-based one.
Sure.
So, can we do it on the paper if they provide it and transfer it to the computer, or we have to do it itself in the computer listening?
No, everything is done on the computer itself. If you're doing the computer-based test, listening, reading, writing, all three fully on the computer. There is no paper involved.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you, sir.
All right. Okay.
Is there a new version for speaking part? Is there a new version regarding MECA's 2024 MOOC? Do you know about any news?
A new version of the speaking test?
New
No. The
MECA book?
I don't know if there has been a book that has been introduced, but no, the test format and the test, the way the test is conducted is exactly the same. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
can I know individual classes, bro?
Yes, we conduct individual classes. So like I said, reach out to Ashen on the group. I'll put his number on the group. You can reach out to him. All right. Okay, guys, the meeting will end any second now. But anyway,
Just
drop
one
your
question before you
feedback on
leave,
the group.
if possible.
Sorry?
So can you recommend me some books for like IELTS writing, like physical books? Could you like drop them also? Like, are there like physical books where I could like write answers on it itself rather than just printing materials?
Yes, so you can get the Cambridge mock practice paper books. They are directly from Cambridge, and they are how the IELTS test is structured. Best is to get them more than any other book you can get. Make sense?
Yeah,
All right.
got it.
See you guys. Let me know your feedback on the group. All right. The meeting will end in 10 seconds. See you guys. Have a great one. Good night.